Do you give advice at all? Friends,
Try not
family,
to.
friends? You try not to?
Yeah,
Why do you try not to?
because people don't take it.
Yeah, it's a terrible reason to not give advice, though. What about the person that does?
They might not be better off because of it.
Maybe.
Maybe it's bad advice.
Think you're selling yourself short again.
Oh,
Think that your advice will go very far. I try not to give people advice, which is kind of all I ever do, which I should stop. I guess I get nervous about giving people advice because I always remember, like, people are different. And so when I give advice, like, I speak about my own experiences. People don't always know to take it that way. If I say, hey, this is what I think, this is how I feel, I don't think people know, like, this is just an opinion that I'm giving. I think, like, they either it fits theirs and they go, yep, I agree, tell him, Will. Or they go, like, not at all, that guy's an idiot, and they kind of, like, square it away as that. And so I think I always wonder, I'm like, what? I wonder what people will think. Because a lot of people leave comments on these videos. Whoever's listening, you should leave a comment on this video.
yeah, they
'Cause I
really
feel
don't, huh?
You have a few times. I have a few other friends that have randomly. One random person that isn't my friend that's just a fan of the podcast wrote once. But those things are good because I get feedback on, like, what's working, what's not working, what people are feeling. But I never know that, so I always assume, I'm like, I wonder if people are hearing me, and they go, like, man, like, that guy's, like, out of his mind.
Yeah, probably.
Have you ever heard one of the podcasts and thought that guy's out of his mind?
One of your podcasts?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No, I've listened to every single one in its entirety.
Yeah.
From start to finish. Of course, not all in one sitting usually.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually do it during breaks and stuff like that. But I listen to them now that they're out on Tuesdays. I listen to them every Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I get that notification in the morning at 7, I'm like, okay, this is how my day's going to go.
It's time to get it.
Yeah. And I try to leave comments. I try to share it.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like it's something that you're passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore it's something that I'm passionate about.
Well, dang.
And I'm like, I'm going to help out and I'm going to share it up and I'm going to tell people, like, hey, if the only reason why you're watching it is because I'm on it, then that's a good enough reason. But hopefully they're seeing enough of you to see what I see, and then they're able to.
That's the hard part, is that that's kind of like exactly what you're saying. I feel like when I do these podcasts, I always think, like, I feel confident and comfortable with myself. So I always think, like, how do I get this in front of more people? Because I don't feel weird, like, how do I make myself better for people? I don't care, right? I think that I'm fine, and people that will like me will subscribe. But I do always wonder, like, how many people in the world would like it but are never going to get the opportunity to know about it because it's not in front of them?
Yeah.
So I try to get creative, like, different ways. So I started doing this. I don't know. I think I might have told you this before, but even if I have, I'll repeat it. I started doing every Tuesday, the day, because I'm done editing the podcast usually Sunday night. Maybe if I'm behind, I'll be doing some last second things on Monday to get it ready to release on Tuesday.
Okay.
And so usually I'm done. So when it releases on Tuesday, all I really got to do is make a post about it, hope people watch it. And so I started telling myself every Tuesday after I post it, I have to do something new to try to promote it. And so I've just been getting creative, like, all right, what else could I do? And I've looked into, I'm looking right now on putting it onto an actual podcast platform. The only issue with that is you have to pay for those platforms. And I don't want to dilute my own audience and have people, like, preferring one over the other kind of thing. Like, I'd rather build up a really good audience and then expand kind of thing. Like, I watch Shark Tank a lot, and that's the biggest thing people do is they try to grow too fast.
Get too big, too fast.
Yes, and you need to, like, really focus on what's working. And right now, YouTube is working. And so I really just want to focus on that. But one of the days, I was like, how could I, like, promote this podcast? And I'm like, how could I get in front of audiences that are outside of New Mexico? Because the majority of people that watch it are based off my friends or friends of my friends who are here in New Mexico. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I'm going to post in people's Craigslist, like, for other cities.
For real?
And so I went crazy for like 3 hours. I created a post, and the title of the post said, are you an extrovert, but you don't have a car? That's all it said. And the whole, like, just the title. And I wanted people to see that, like, what the fuck is this even about? And then when they open it, I posted, and they're like, hey, I started this podcast. This is why I started it. I'm looking for a community of people that want to be involved. If you like podcasts, then click on this link. Go check it out. If you enjoyed it, subscribe, and then that way you can be part of the community. If you don't, no pressure. Just don't ever watch them again. And I copied and pasted that post in like 40 cities all over the U.S., like all over Craigslist.
Dang.
And I thought that would help, and maybe it will eventually because they're all out there still. But I did it for a long time, and I think people, as humans, we want to see like immediate results. And so I kept like refreshing. I'm like, my views got to be going up any second. And yeah, it didn't work out that way. But
how
that
would
was
you
one
know
of my
anyway, right?
Yeah,
If it
I
was just
wouldn't.
like the normal climb, or if it was because of those posts. You never
Yeah, I
know.
wouldn't know what it was because of, but yeah, for whatever reason in my head, I was like, all right, I got to see some results here, and I didn't. But I mean, maybe they will, maybe they're not. But that just shows like I'm trying to think of like creative ways to like get it
That's
out
pretty
there. But
creative. I would never have, like, as soon as you said Craigslist, I was like, what the hell?
it's funny because it suggests a nearby city. So I went to a far city that I knew of, like Seattle, and I posted in Seattle, and it says like the cities near Seattle. It's like small cities, like, and I'm like,
Would
I'm
you
gonna
put it on like the community?
yeah, it was like a community post. See, maybe that's
People
what
are
I did
probably
wrong.
there looking for a wiener or something and
That was also
found.
on the list. It was like misconnections and
Yeah.
like it was like my post and then like horny 32-year-old wants someone to come over when their husband's gone. And so I don't know why they would click on mine when there's a title like that out there.
Yeah. Well, keep trying.